You've heard about vitamin C, but you haven't heard this. This is news you can really use. I'm Dr. Andrew Saul, the other kind of doctor, the naturopath. Vitamin C has been known to cure over 30 major diseases for over 50 years. How come you haven't heard about it? Well, progress takes time in medicine, doesn't it? Fresh fruit was known to cure scurvy back in 1753, but governments ignored that fact for nearly 100 years. Countless thousands of people died in the meantime. The first doctor back in the 1800s who said, hey, we should wash our hands between cadavers and childbirth was ridiculed and died in an insane asylum. Mercury was used as medicine into the 20th century, so it's not surprising that something like vitamin C to cure pneumonia would take half a century. But it doesn't have to take any more time for you to know the following. Frederick Robert Klenner, a medical doctor down in Reidsville, North Carolina, spent a third of a century using vitamin C in megadoses. Here's a small list of some of the things he cured. Not only pneumonia, but also chickenpox, measles, mumps, tetanus, polio, encephalitis, herpes simplex, mononucleosis, arthritis, bladder infection, leukemia, atherosclerosis, diabetes, glaucoma, multiple sclerosis, complications of surgery, and chronic fatigue syndrome. If you're interested in knowing more about vitamin C and curing real diseases, this program and others to follow are going to give you that kind of information and some references so you can find out for yourself just how valuable this substance is. It is difficult to ignore these doctors' successes with vitamin C, but it has been done. Dr. Klenner wrote, some physicians would actually stand by and see their patient die rather than use vitamin C in high doses because in their finite minds it exists only as a vitamin. This is not the way it ought to be. William J. McCormick, an MD in Toronto, Canada, found that vitamin C does not cause a kidney stone, it dissolves them, it cures them, it prevents them. Dr. Klenner and Dr. McCormick and Dr. Linus Pauling and many other eminent researchers and physicians have all said, if you want results with vitamin C, you have to use enough.
Hello and welcome to Doctor Yourself, a program whose aim is to put you back in control of your health. Thanks to Dr. Saul, common everyday maladies and even serious diseases are now within the reach of all of us in terms of our own health, in terms of helping to put ourselves back into good health. And it's the way of the doctor of naturopathy to use only the natural methods, without drugs, without surgery, and even without high cost. You'll be seeing about all of these types of things as well. Doctor Yourself will give you simple directions on things that you can do to improve your health cheaply, safely, and very, very surely in the ways that Dr. Saul has put forth in his very excellent book, Paperback Clinic, which we will be referring to, which is by and large the script for this program. And we'll be talking more about that and how you can get it. But Andrew, I've got to say, vitamin C is something that I've really become a convert to. But how much vitamin C is enough, and how much is too much?
Well, the most important thing people have to realize, I think, Jim, is that we've been told that if you just eat the 4 food groups, have a glass of orange juice, that is enough C. But research is showing that's not the case. People who take more than that amount, say 500-600 milligrams even a day, have a third less chance of dying from anything. And about half the chance of dying from cardiovascular disease as people that just get the glass of orange juice. So even 500 or 600 milligrams, that's one tablet, costs just a couple of pennies, can reduce your risk of dying by maybe a third or half. If people take larger amounts, especially as Linus Pauling has said, when you're sick, this might be 10,000, 20,000 milligrams a day, then we find that the duration of viral illnesses is much shorter. But if we start to go to what Dr. Klenner, who I mentioned in the very first part of the program, would use, we find that if you use 50, 60, 70,000 milligrams a day, the viral illnesses might be done in 48 to 72 hours or even less.
That is a phenomenal amount because, as I recall, the RDA, the US RDA, is 60 milligrams. Is that right?
That's right.
Which I mean, it seems appallingly low.
Well, figure this one out.
If you'll forgive the pun.
To follow up on that, if we look at the animal kingdom in general, we find that most animals make their own vitamin C.
Okay.
There are some who can't, and we're among those who can't. Guinea pigs cannot make their own vitamin C.
Which is why they use guinea pigs.
It's a good reason to.
Yeah.
By the way, if they're using rats or mice for an experiment, it'll throw the nutritional or illness experiment off because the mice and the rats can make their own C. We don't know what made them better. But with guinea pigs or human beings, the need for vitamin C goes up when you're sick. So a sick animal would eat more vitamin C.
Okay.
Or an animal that makes its own vitamin C, like a goat or a dog or a cat, an animal will make more vitamin C when it's sick. Now, the weird thing is that even healthy animals throughout all of nature, per human body weight equivalent, make between 2,000 and 10,000 milligrams of C a day. This is through all nature. And the government says we need 60. Now, somebody's made a small mistake here.
Now, you're saying that in other words, these animals manufacture their own within their body systems.
Most of them do.
Okay.
And they make much more than the government has suggested we have to have.
Now, I guess their own bodies would regulate this, but our bodies have got to be become aware of the fact that now we're using a lot of vitamin C, and changes are taking place. What can we expect when we start using these high doses?
Well, the
vitamin C.
first thing that most people experience is if they take a modest amount of vitamin C in addition, that they will have fewer incidences of illness in general. But if someone uses vitamin C the way Robert F. Cathcart, a medical doctor in San Diego, uses vitamin C, Cathcart will say, if you're ill, take vitamin C to bowel tolerance. Now, bowel tolerance is just what you think it might be. You take as much vitamin C as you can possibly hold, but not so much as causes watery, explosive diarrhea. Now, nobody wants that, and nobody needs to get it. The point is, vitamin C at saturation levels is what is antiviral and antibacterial. It lowers fever, and it acts as an antihistamine. Now, I'd like to make it real clear that I don't sell vitamin C. I don't have any connection with anybody who does. The thing I want to bring forth here is that real doctors, medical doctors, and competent researchers have been using megadoses of C, 20, 40, 60,000 milligrams a day, to cure real diseases for a long time. If your doctor hasn't told you that, how come?
Yeah, the thing that, I mean, it's nothing that my doctor's actually said anything to me about. I mean, if I have a cold, I mean, it's drink lots of fluids.
That's still good advice.
Presumably juices with vitamin C and this kind of thing, orange juice and that sort of thing. But I can say from my own experience, having spoken with you back in March when we first met, began taking 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily.
4,000 already? Good.
Yeah. And, I mean, I had no adverse physical effects from this amount, this large a dose, which is really not...
You're only getting what a gorilla would get.
Right. Okay. That's the kind of what I went by. If a gorilla can do this, I can do this.
That's right.
But the thing that I noticed was that ordinarily, during this time of the year, in the springtime, I would have a lot of allergic reactions to things that are going on in the air, which a lot of people do, but I have not.
That's right. And this is one of the first things people notice. Vitamin C does have an antibiotic effect. I've worked with so many people, students and others, who used to have allergies, and the primary reason they've got them under control, in addition to changing their diet and doing other common sense things, is they've increased their vitamin C level. And when you increase the C level, you get results. The little jingle I use is take enough C to be symptom-free, whatever the amount might be. That is the key. It's a little corny, but it works. Cathcart is no fool. Now, this is a medical doctor out in San Diego, and he is a specialist in allergy. And Cathcart does not use allergy shots. He does not use the usual drugs. He gives megadoses of C, and believe it or not, he gives, in some cases, serious viral illnesses, for instance, up to 200,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C. Now, you are not going to need that much. I'm not going to need that much. But someone who is very sick, perhaps with pneumonia, or perhaps with AIDS, or some very, very dire illness, they might actually hold 100 or 200,000 milligrams of C without diarrhea. And I'd like to mention without toxicity either. Vitamin C has been called by these researchers and physicians the safest substance a person can put in their body.
Yeah, now there is a lot of controversy about that, and at one point it was even suggested that vitamin C and I believe it was vitamin A would become prescription drugs.
Well, that was fortunately changed because 21 million letters were received in Washington from voters like you and I who said, no, wait a minute, we want free access to vitamins. That has been decided by Congress, and we're glad of it. It's real important to recognize that vitamins are far safer than the safest of drugs that a doctor would give you. So look at it from the logical point of view. Maybe you have a need to take an antibiotic or an antihistamine. That's fair enough. You go to your doctor for medical opinion, which you should do anytime you need medical help. I'm not going to be your doctor. I'm strictly a teacher and consultant. But we also know that, as Benjamin Franklin says, the best doctor gives the least medicine. And Hippocrates, the founder of medicine, said of several remedies, the doctor should use the least sensational. Now, vitamin C is a perfect example of good medicine because it is safer and incidentally a lot cheaper than most prescription drugs. And this may be one of the reasons your doctor hasn't told you about it. The detail men, the pharmaceutical salesmen who come to the doctor with the drug of the month, have no financial incentive or reason to get people using a cheap, harmless vitamin. And what we want to bring to the viewer's attention is, I'm not making this up. This is something you can see for yourself. The references are there. Your librarian, of course, is a good source to help you. And the book that I wrote called Paperback Clinic has lots of references as well. We want people to know that they can do something about this. They can stop living with an illness. They can learn to live without it.
And basically, ladies and gentlemen, that is the main message of Dr. Yourself, and we will indeed bring you up to date on all types of things that vitamin C can be used to help in terms of your physical well-being, recovery from disease. But we're going to take a break right now to bring you something that I think will be kind of fun and interesting.
And has nothing to do with vitamin C.
Precisely. But it will help you to preserve your eyesight. We hope you're enjoying Dr. Yourself on FLTV. And if you would like to receive a free vitamin C information packet, simply send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dr. Andrew Saul, Hamlin, New York, 14464. He'll be glad to send you one. And now, back to Dr. Yourself.
When I was a little boy, I was given my first set of glasses, and ever since then I've been trying to find ways to get rid of them. So I'm going to show you a way that you might be able to actually improve simple myopia and some other simple eye conditions. It's not a substitute for seeing your eye doctor, but it may help you to see less of your eye doctor. That's maybe a poor expression. Maybe you'll see more of your eye doctor without your glasses. Look at it that way.
But you will see him less often, perhaps.
I think we're doing fine on that one.
Okay.
Now, the Chinese eye exercises are not something I've made up. I'm not that smart, but I learned these from people who have actually worked with the Chinese, and the school children there do a series of exercises every day. Relatively few Chinese wear glasses, and this is one of the reasons. The muscles of the eye can be relaxed through pressure points, and it's very easy to relax these points. Many of the points, there are several of them, you do instinctively. When you have a headache, for instance, you might find yourself doing this. You're rubbing this notch here in your temporal bone, and you'll find a little depression in there if you actually want to try this out. There's a little notch in there.
Folks, just in case you might feel foolish doing this, I'm going to do it so that right here for the camera. So
it may be a little sore if you actually press in there.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. And you massage that maybe 15 times. You can just press, or you can use little tiny circles.
Yeah.
It'll feel as if the dentist found a sensitive tooth, but it shouldn't hurt unbelievably. Now, if you have a medical reason to not do these exercises, don't. Check with your doctor first, of course. Yeah. The second one, also, a lot of people do instinctively, and that's the old over-the-bridge point here, right on the bridge of the nose where the glasses might sit. You press with 2 fingers and squeeze in. And a lot of people you'll see do this when they have eye strain, or they've been watching too much TV, or they're a little weary, or they're at a boring meeting, and you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. You press here and 15 times over the bridge of the nose. So that's 1, 2. That's 2 already. Now, the third one I especially like. I call this the Boris Karloff exercise, because you'll feel like Frankenstein when Karloff was made up as the monster. And you take your thumbs, put them in the supraorbital notch. There's a little notch in the top of the orbit of the eye.
Oh, yeah.
That's above the eye. You can feel it. There's a little notch there.
Yep, there
and
sure
you take your fingers and put them at the margin of your hairline or where your hairline used to be, depending on your situation. So you put the thumbs up here like that, and then you massage like so. Now, you look even more silly doing this than with the other ones, but it works. You massage the forehead and the upper margin of the orbit of the eye about 15 times. You feel silly, you feel like a loaf of bread being baked, and you're done. So that's 1, 2, 3. The next one is apart from the nose by about a finger's distance. So you smile and make that nice smile line that everyone loves to see. Mine's under my beard, but yours can be seen easily.
There we are.
You smile, make a smile line, and 1 finger's distance out on the smile line, you press. 1 finger distance out. You press, and that is actually where the facial nerve comes out of the maxillary bone. And you press here, and again, it may be a little sore. Now, if it's not sore, you didn't find it. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Now you feel really idiotic when you're doing this, but again, this is not for appearance, this is for eyesight.
Yeah.
Massage that for about 15 turns, 15 seconds.
And if you get everybody in the house to do this while you're doing it, you'll feel less.
Yeah. Try this at that same boring meeting, and it won't be so boring anymore. Now, when you're done, take a breath through your nose.
Interesting.
A lot of people find breathe a little easier.
Yeah.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one is especially nice. You have to watch me do this because I have to close my eyes to do it. You simply close your eyes and massage the outside of the lids very lightly and very rapidly. This is just a light effleurage touch, an easy massage touch, 15 times top and bottom lid with your eyes closed. Very relaxing, easy to do. Anybody can do that. So here they go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more. And this is the eye exercise that's on the hand. And to do that, you take an ordinary hand like yours and hold the thumb up, take the other thumb and crest the top, just like the top of a tent. Roll that thumb down and then meet it from the other side and press good and hard. And if you got it right, you'll feel that dental pain again, like the dentist found the sensitive tooth. Press there, maybe 15 seconds, and you can do the same with the other hand. Thumb up, there's a ridge, crest it with the other thumb, roll down, press each side. Ooh, yeah, that's the spot right there.
Yeah, that can be a little tender.
Try these 6 exercises a few times a day and see if when you're done you think, I think I'll just leave my glasses on the table because my eyes are more relaxed and the rest of you is too.
So, except maybe for reading, you don't use your glasses?
As a matter of fact, my eye doctor said, especially for reading, leave them off, do these exercises. You might even find that your eye doctor will be able to put you in contact with a behavioral eye doctor or a behavioral optometrist. They can teach you other eyesight exercises. There's even a book out by an ophthalmologist, that's an MD who specializes in eye work, called Better Eyesight Without Glasses, and the author's name was a Dr. Bates, B-A-T-E-S, like the motel in the Hitchcock movie.
Okay.
Same, not the same guy.
And you heard it right here on Dr. Yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm presuming that this is also something that people will be able to pick up and read about right here in the Paperback Clinic as well.
All 6 exercises, easy to do.
Great, great. Andrew, we've got a lot more to talk about, so we'll take another break right here and be right back. We're going to be talking, we're going to be giving you a little bit of news from around the medical world. Stay with us.
And now for the news. This is nutrition news that you can actually use at home. Brain tumors in children. Now there's a tragedy if there ever was one, but what's been found according to the Nutrition Action Health Letter, November 1993, is that 166 children with brain tumors were found to have greater chances of cancer if their parents, their mother in particular, had not taken a supplemental multivitamin during pregnancy. As a matter of fact, it's in that first 6 weeks, before a woman even knows that she's pregnant perhaps, that the most important nutritional work is done. The bottom line, all people should always take a multivitamin. That way, if a woman is pregnant and only finds out after 6 weeks, she's covered. The news for your heart. We find that people that take more vitamin E, beta-carotene, and vitamin C have less heart disease. Here's an example. Vitamin E, as an Edward, is protective against hardening of the arteries, says a study from the University of California. In the study, published in an American Heart Association journal, 17 healthy men and women took additional vitamin E over a period of only 6 weeks. They took 12 times the US RDA of vitamin E. And what they found was that they had less oxidation of so-called harmful or bad cholesterol, LDL, and they had higher levels of HDL. This meant less hardening of the arteries and less risk of heart disease. It's been noted that you cannot get 12 times the RDA of vitamin E, even from the best planned diet, so a vitamin E as an Edward supplement of a few hundred units a day could save your heart and save your life. Can a multiple vitamin improve your immune system? A simple multiple vitamin can do that, says John D. Brogdon and his colleagues at the University of Medicine and Dentistry in New Jersey. 60 healthy men and women aged 59 to 85 took either a multivitamin or a dummy pill, a placebo. The immune function in the vitamin takers was, quote, significantly improved, unquote. There were more disease-fighting white cells, such as T lymphocytes. In fact, there was a 64% improvement. Not bad. Immune system bolstering with a multivitamin every day. No, you can't just get it from a balanced diet. The 4 food groups are good, but we need our vitamins in addition.
Fascinating news, Andrew, and I think it's good news for those of us who are taking our regular multivitamins. And in order for folks to get some information about how to get enough vitamin C, how much is enough, information on vitamins, we would encourage you all to send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address you see on your screen, so that you can get some of the references and some of the hard information you may not have caught the first time, because it is vitally important.
Specifically, this is a vitamin C information sheet, and if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dr. Saul in Hamlin, New York, 14464, we'll send you the vitamin C information sheet at no charge, but you do have to have that self-addressed stamped envelope, and then we'll do our part for you.
We'll also let you know about how to receive a copy of Paperback Clinic as well, for a lot of the information that you'll be hearing right here on Dr. Yourself. The thing that we also would encourage you to do is write in with your questions to the same address. Write Dr. Saul, and we will use your question right here on Dr. Yourself to, I suppose, give a diagnosis and a treatment.
Well, actually, Jim, we're not going to give either a diagnosis or a treatment in truth, because that legally and properly can only be done by your own licensed medical physician.
Good point.
But we will teach you the ways of the diagnosis and the alternatives in treatment, so you have all of the information and not some of it. We should use a medical professional when we need one, but we also have to remember that we are our own best doctor, knowledge is power, and an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and at today's prices, probably a ton.
And now, talking about cost, let's close out this edition of Dr. Yourself with a little information about how to have health, though broke.
How to have health even if you are flat broke. People think, oh, I've got to buy this, I've got to buy that, I have to buy the vitamins. Well, it's good to spend a little money on the vitamins, but you can have good health without spending a dime. And here's some ways not only can you not spend, but actually make money being healthy. First of all, we've talked about the 4 food groups. They're not adequate. Well, that's because we've got the wrong 4 food groups. The new 4 food groups, according to the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, this is an organization made up largely of MDs and the public, suggests that we should have 4 new food groups: Toss out the meat group, toss out the dairy group, and here are our new 4 food groups. Legumes, those are peas, beans, and lentils, that's one group. Grains, fruits, and vegetables. Everything else is a condiment. Now, by eating this way, you, become sort of a vegetarian. But by becoming sort of a vegetarian, you're going to save sort of a lot of money. And with the money you save, you're easily going to cover your vitamin C, and probably, if you do this for 18 years, you can send your kids to college. My wife and I have saved $30,000 in an 18-year marriage by avoiding meat. The new 4 food groups save you money and save your health. Peas, beans, and lentils are the legumes, the grains, the fruits, the vegetables. Everything else, a little bit perhaps, for flavor.
Excellent. Andrew, I do appreciate all of this information that is coming forth, not only in your book, but taking the time to bring it here in front of the people. Doctor Yourself is a program that you will see regularly if you want to be sure to have good health, health that you can give to yourself. And that is all the time that we have for now, ladies and gentlemen. Please tune in again next time. For Dr. Andrew Saul and myself, Jim Burns, so long for now.